Welcome to day 4 of our daily Bible devotions. This week, we're going through the objections to the theistic arguments, and we're focusing a little bit on the objections on the moral argument. And yesterday, we talked about the marshmallow test. Another thing revealed by the marshmallow test is not just the difference of personalities among kids with regards to self control, but another thing that was revealed is their response in matters of obedience. Yes, it's one thing to say that some kids were able to control themselves, regardless of whether they can wait for the reward or not. The reality, the fact of the matter is, they were instructed to wait. They were instructed to wait, and the promise is if they will wait, if they will follow the instructions, if they will obey the instructions, they will get a reward. What is that? Another marshmallow. Some of those kids chose to disobey. When they indulged in their desire for the marshmallow, they did not just lose self control, they disobeyed the order, they disobeyed the instruction. There's another thing about this test that not much people are paying attention to, which I want us to meditate and ponder upon. Here's the reason why we cannot rationalize morality. And listen to this. We think that when we know what we ought to do, we will do it. That's what we think. We think if we will educate people on who to vote, they will vote that person. We think that if we will educate people to do this and not this, people will choose this. But the reality is, even if we know what to do, we don't do it. Why? Why is it that even if we know better, even if we know what is good, what is right, we don't do that? I mean, not always, of course. There are times when we do, but there are many times as well when we don't. The question is there. Why? If we can rationalize morality, if we can teach people to reason better, if we will give people more information, then are they supposed to act better? Are they supposed to behave better? That's the expectation. That's something that I struggled with as an educator. I thought if people will be educated, if people will just know, then they won't do it. Then they will choose what is good. Guess what? They do not. And this is what Canadian philosopher Kai Nielsen, whom we quoted just recently, this is what he meant when he said, pure practical reason will not take you to morality. Pure practical reason, even with the knowledge of the facts, will not take you to morality. Let me give you a personal story. I used to teach in college, and I gave an instruction to my students to read these particular essays, and then I'll give them an exam. I gave them an exam, many of them failed. Now, when they failed, it's because they didn't read the essays I gave them. I gave them an instruction, they chose to disobey, therefore, they reaped the consequences. Now, some of them reported me to the dean. Now, I was called upon the dean's office. So, when I come into the dean's office, what did I see there? Not just the dean of our college, but two deans. Our dean invited another dean. Here's the thing. I was teaching history, and because the head of the history department was missing in action during that time, he went on an absence without leave. I was already the acting head or acting authority in matters of history. So I had a conversation with the dean and another dean. And I told them the rationale of what I did. I reasoned out based on what I learned from my masteral studies. And I thought they were convinced because they did not respond anymore. They had nothing more to say. I was able to silence them with my reason. And yeah, that's what happened inside the room. The next day, upon entering my class, what did I see there? The dean was standing there. And he said, "You're not the teacher of this class anymore." He took me off the class just so he could give those students the grade that they desired. The grade that they desired, but they did not deserve because they did not follow the instructions. I was wrong. Now, that is evil. That was evil that was done to me. Why did he do it? Why did the dean do it? Was it because of reason? No, because I was able to convince him. I was able to silence him with reason. I was able to argue my case. And if he was not convinced, he could have argued back, but he did not. There was nothing that they could bring forth that would nullify my actions, that would make my actions wrong. But why did they still do it? Because they will have benefits. This is where evil comes in. Now, Os Guinness, the social critic Os Guinness, author and social critic, he distinguished evil from suffering. Suffering and pain, they're both inactive. They're both passive. But evil is active. The Merriam and Webster dictionary defined evil as profoundly immoral or wicked. But according to Os Guinness, evil is the action with the intent or with the intention to do harm. Listen, evil is the action with the intention to do harm. And according to him, there are two sources of evil. Well, if we're talking about pain and suffering, there are three sources. But if we will just narrow it down to evil, the active intent to do harm, there are only two sources. What are those? First, ourselves. Another one is the people around us. In short, mankind. We are the problem. We are the source of evil. The author G.K. Chesterton, when he was asked before, what is wrong with this world? Then he wrote back in response. He wrote a letter to those people who asked him what is wrong with this world. And his response was like this: my dear sirs, I am. What is wrong with this world? G.K. Chesterton said, I am. We are. Deny it or not, we are really the cause of evil in this world. With or without God, take note, with or without God, we are the cause of evil in this world. Whether you believe in God or not, we cause evil, right? And that is the nature of evil. And we need to ponder on that. Why? Why do we do it? Why do we do it? And let's talk more about this tomorrow.